Welcome to another episode of Jay Helps the VA. This is part 3 of Jay Helps the VA with CHAMPVA. In the first 2 episodes of CHAMPVA, I explained the criteria for eligibility. Then my second episode was conveying how to actually sign up for the program, so enrollment. Today, we're going to just break down a little bit more of this enrollment process, and then we'll be diving into other topics that concern the CHAMPVA, whether it's meds by mail or OptumRx or school certifications, or we'll talk a little bit today about the school certification and how that applies to the grand picture of anybody receiving the Chapter 35 benefit for CHAMPVA. So, I think I'd already mentioned in prior videos that I'm not too technologically advanced at this stage. This channel's in its infancy, but that being said, we still are able to bring some, information to bear, and perhaps later on I'll, be able to import documents in the corner of these videos or other bells and whistles, as it were. So, but today we're going to just kind of start off with some of the bare basics here. So for the CHAMPVA, there is a one-page application, okay? So we're going to talk about how to fill it out fairly quick. Now it does, well, it has a second page that is just like a privacy policy and talks about, paperwork reduction, all this other stuff. Then it has some definitions, which are helpful, and I've covered some of these things before: child, spouse, sponsor, service connected. They, have some little verbiage here. Then it talks about the school certification. So it has dialogue about the school cert. Now I brought one of these along today so I can explain how to fill it out. So for the first document that's needed to submit to CHAMPVA for applications purposes is the application. So it's a 10-10D as in Delta. 10-10D as in Delta. Now, why am I explaining how to fill these out? Well, because people miss stuff all the time. And how do I know? Because, well, I work for the Veterans Administration, and I see these things come in the door. So what do we want to talk about here? Well, we want to just talk about some things that would seem like it would be fairly straightforward, but they still get missed. So that's what we're doing, is demystifying documents, how to send them in, turnaround time. That's the substance of this video. So in the very first part of the application, it's asking about the sponsor. Now, they've changed not very much on these documents over the years, but the sponsor is the veteran. So we're going to put all of the veteran's normal demographic information here, right? So address and phone number and all that good stuff. Then it's got two boxes down at the bottom asking about, did the veteran pass away overseas or did he pass away on active duty? If these apply, please check the box that is, applicable. If they don't, then check the box no. There is a date of death box in the middle. Do not leave it blank or unattended. Please just put N/A if it's not applicable if the veteran is still with us. Okay. Now up in the top right-hand corner, so I'm doing this in reverse, right? So it would be my right, but your left if you're looking at the video. So it asks for what's called a veteran file number. Well, the veteran file number is, for all intents and purposes, you can just put the veteran's social security. Now, yep, I see there's a box right next to it asking for the social. I get it, I know. So put the social here and as well here. So in both places. Why? Just trust me on this and it'll get where it needs to go. So then we're going to descend to the very second section. So this is the beneficiary. The beneficiary is going to be the son, daughter, wife, surviving spouse, whoever we're referring to. And then there's room for 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, so you can only put 3 per application. So if there's more than 3 members getting signed up at once, then we need 2 of these documents. If there's 6 or we're beyond 6, then 3, right? So 3 per. So what is it asking for the beneficiary? It's asking for their normal demographic information. Then it asks 2 questions. Do they have Medicare If they're too young, well, then obviously they don't have Medicare unless they're 65. So yes or no. If they have it, we check the box yes. If no, then we check the box no. Then there's another box that says OHI. That is another document that I'll be covering in just a moment, the OHI form. Now, the OHI form is the second half of this puzzle. We'll cover how to fill this one out in just a moment. So we fill in the three boxes, yes to Medicare, yes to, or no to Medicare, and yes to OHI or no to OHI. It's one or the other, okay? Why are we telling this story? Because it says if it's yes to OHI, which is other health insurance information, then we need the preceding document, the 10-7959C is in Charlie. So I'm going to explain how to fill that one out too. So we descend to the bottom. It's section 3. Kind of hard to see. It's a smaller little section. Section 3. Why is this important? Well, because it's the affirmation that the information is true and correct and it's free of any errors. It's like an affidavit. You're giving a testimonial, right? So it asks right next to the signature box, it says relationship to applicant. So if it's the veteran filling in this out for their family, he writes in veteran, dad, spouse, whatever they're putting there. If it's the spouse doing it, then they can put self or wife or, whatever, or if it's a child. So whoever is filling out the document is completing this section. So that means even if their information is here in beneficiary information, or if it's the veteran up top, their address and everything down here needs to be completed. So completeness is important here. Now, even if you find this document online, which is also a feature you can do, you can find the PDF fillable document version of this if you didn't get it in the mail and you didn't request it from CHAMPVA. So basically, you could, if it was digital, they don't accept an e-signature with the federal government. It's got to be a real John Hancock. Okay, so date and signature. If I get all this complete and this is missing, this goes nowhere. It's garbage. Okay? This signature is the key to the kingdom. No signature, no entry. Okay? Very definitive. Okay? So that's the application. OHI form is going to be the second little item that we're going to talk about. And it comes again with its own little set of definitions, page 2. You don't have to send these documents back with the instructions. So just literally if it's, husband signing up wife and she's got Medicare, then we need to tell about Medicare and we need the application. So 2 documents, and then we would need a copy of the Medicare card. If it's another type of insurance and we're putting OHI, then it's a different card. Why is that important? Because a copy of the card must accompany the application and this OHI document. So application, OHI document. If there's another coverage, we need the card. Okay, so that was the application, OHI. This one's a 1-pager as well. Like I said, we don't need the instruction pages. Leave these out. Address of the beneficiary, demographic information. So it's fairly straightforward. It's whoever we're talking about. Now let me get this real crystal clear. You need one of these per member of the household that does have another insurance. What is other insurance? Okay, so Medicare is other insurance. Cigna, Kaiser, Blue Cross, another insurance. The Medicare Advantage plan, that's another insurance. Part D coverage with the prescriptions, another coverage. The TRICARE, Selman and Company, CHAMPVA supplemental insurance, that is other health insurance. Medicaid, state income-based insurance, another insurance. Anything it applies to, child, husband, spouse, caregiver, whoever it is, you've got to have one of these. If there is no other insurance, you still need one. You know why? Because even if you tell the story on the application, there's no other health insurance, they still want one of these on the file telling that story. So even if there isn't anything, then we're going to tell, is there other health insurance? It's asking for Medicare in the first section. Is there Medicare A, B, and C? Well, if the person's too young, there's no Medicare, right? So then that immediately disqualifies this. It'd only be if there's like employer-based coverage by the husband or the wife and the kids are covered, or the husband or spouses, or the wife or the spouses got coverage. So we want to tell that story. So if it's Medicare, great. If it's not, no, no, and no to Medicare Part A, Part B, and Part D is in dog, the drug coverage. Now down below, I asked a couple other questions. Is there other health insurance besides Medicare and obviously with CHAMPVA? If there is no other health insurance, it says go to section 4. So section 4, which would be the bottom, you're certifying the bottom. So if there's no other coverage, then we don't have to tell any more of a story, right? So we said no, we go to the bottom, we want to sign and date it. Once again, a real John Hancock, okay, and the date. If there is other health insurance, so say it's Cigna, say it's Kaiser, say it's Anthem, whoever it is, United Healthcare, then we're going to tell yes here. Then we're going to put in name of insurance number 1, this box. We're going to tell what story, when it started, what the name of it is, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Florida, so Florida Blue, okay? The start date, does it have prescriptions, yes or no? Okay, no to prescriptions, then check the box. Then it asks another question, kind of weird. Does the prescriptions provide what's called an EOB, or explanation of benefits, after it generates a prescription for you? If you know the answer, yes. If you don't, then don't answer it. Very simple. They want to know if it's an HMO or a PPO, or if it's Medicaid, or it's a supplemental, or it's a limited liability, like accident coverage, right? So it could still be out there under the guise of some other name, but we'll see it. And if it doesn't get called out, it can cause claims to not get processed properly. So we want to tell a story on the front end. Why? 2 things. A, who all the dance partners are, because CHAMPVA pecking order predicates how we pay. Number 2, you're going to have action at, once you're first coming on board, you have action at doing backdated claims. So you'll have 6 months or 180 days to do backdated claims. So you'll want to tell this story, right? Last piece of information here, we'll try to get this brief, is the school certification letter. These are if you have a child over the age of 18, so they could still be in high school too. So if they hit 18, they're still in high school, these are necessary. If they're in the collegiate world, they're in a community college, state university, trade school, they're over 18, they want to keep the coverage up until the day before they turn 23, one of these per semester. Very simple. Institution, whatever it is, then the student's first name, their last name, the 4 digits of their social security, last 4. Then they're just asking, making sure they're full time, right? So 12 units, so 4 classes at 3 credits apiece. And then they want to know the school start date. So the semester start date, semester start date, semester end date of whatever semester we're trying to certify, and the expected graduation date, title, and signature of a school official. This would be a veteran services officer on campus, okay, embedded in the Veteran Resource Center. So these are the documents we want to send in. Where are we sending them? Well, we can send them to the address at the top. There's a physical address. Try to steer away from that. Today, as of today's date, we're 44 days behind on opening mail. Ouch. So try to steer away from the mail. There's the fax number. We can try that. And there's a second fax number on the other form. So send it in. You want to not just fire and forget. You want to check back. Call the main CHAMPVA number, 800-733-8387. You can verify that the docs were in hand. Then there's the hurry up and wait part of things. So they're 44 days behind on the mail. They're 41 days behind on applications right now. So they're putting in like the 5th of October right now or something, or the 9th. So know that there is that turnaround time. Qualify. It was received. Complete the documents by making sure they're signed and complete, not absent of information. I'm Jay. I help here trying to give this information to you folks, help give you guys a little bit of guidance, connect the dots. I'm also representing in volunteering. I was with them this week. Team River Runner behind me, that's TRR, that's the other sticker behind me. It's I'm always pushing that organization, helping veterans on the river to recovery, helps veterans that are missing limbs, permanent and total, service connected, PTSD, whatever there may be, help them get into water sports, kayaking, rafting, soup, stand-up paddleboarding, all kinds of things at no expense to the veteran. I embed the organization, it's a 501c corporation. I embed their organization's website so you can check it out. 60 chapters, 50 states. I'm Jay. I help the VA. Jay helps the VA, serving those who served. This is part 3 of CHAMPVA. There'll be a fourth video as it were, coming right up next Thursday. So if you like what I'm doing here, like, subscribe, share. All the veterans, their wives, caregivers, children, they all could use this information. So please help them get this information out. Next week, part 4, CHAMPVA. I'm not sure what I'm unpacking. It could be medication, like meds by mail. Not quite sure, but we've got part 4 coming up next week. Stay tuned. I'm Jay. Jay helps the VA, serving those who served, their spouses, caregivers, children, and family. Thanks again. God bless America. God bless our veterans. Catch you next week. Have a great day.